Today on Just Ask Bobby, we're tackling the challenges of purchasing a used car. I'm Ed Blair, and with me is our tech expert on all things Porsche, Bobby Varela. Buying a used car can be challenging, especially when considering vehicles from specific years. In this episode, we'll talk about what to look for to ensure that you make a purchase you won't regret. Whether you're eyeing a classic Porsche or any other vehicle, this is the advice you need to hear. Bobby, thank you for joining me today. I know that there are so many different types of Porsches that you could buy, so many different years and so many variations within those years. Give me some highlights. Start with the newer cars and roll back towards the older ones, and tell me some of the pitfalls you might encounter as a potential used Porsche buyer.
Wow, so thank you, Ed. That's a lot to say. I can tell you, starting from the new cars, they're amazing. Porsche has done something that all other manufacturers wish they could achieve. I will say that their new cars have transformed and grown up into something quite amazing. Things that we're interested in on new cars are the data that the car records. It records ignition over revs. What that means is if you over rev your engine, it records it. And these are cars we don't want to buy. In fact, if your car were still under warranty and it read in the ignition ranges, Porsche would void your warranty. So, moving forward, or backwards if you will, since we started off with the new cars, going back to, let's say, 996 era, these cars had the intermediate shaft bearing issue that I'm sure we're all very well aware of. And then moving further back into, like, let's say the 80s era, there were, a lot of oil leaks and valve guide issues, a variety of different things. But what's most important when you're gonna go and you're looking at purchasing an older or new Porsche, always best to get a PPI, which is a pre-purchase inspection.
Bobby, tell me more about that. You know, it's funny, in my professional life, I actually inspect homes for a living. So I always encourage people to inspect a home before they bother to buy it. However, as I've bought several used Porsches, I've never done a PPI myself personally, and I've been lucky. But I do feel that there is some value to it. What goes into a PPI inspection for a car? Tell me.
Well, that's a great question. So a PPI or a pre-purchase inspection will take any shop around 2 to 3 hours to perform. This is an over 300 point checklist that is basically checking the vehicle from front to back. Okay, we do fault code readout, which is plugging the Porsche diagnostic tool into the vehicle and reading out all the fault codes or ignition ranges or over revs. We do a paint meter check where we use this paint meter device that reads the amount of layers of paint that are on the vehicle. And if your vehicle has PPF or paint protection film on it, usually the paint meters will not read it. What else? So paint meter check, fault code readout, ignition range check, and we're looking for things like poorly repaired accidents, poorly repainted cars, fluid leaks, those kinds of things.
And tell me, how much does it cost to do a PPI on average? I know you've serviced the South Florida area, but across the country, how much do you think it would cost for somebody to do a PPI inspection?
Typically it's around $500, and I know that in California they go up to around $2,500. It really depends on the level of PPI. Some PPIs are going to the point where they're doing compression and leak down tests, where they're removing spark plugs and they're using other tools to read the internal health of the engine. These are some of the additional things that would be performed in a more detailed PPI.
Bobby, there happen to be a lot of car dealers out there these days offering certified pre-owned cars. They presumably come with a warranty, and the presumption is also that the cars have been inspected and they meet a higher standard. What is your take on certified pre-owned cars?
Certified pre-owned cars are amazing, and they're a great opportunity to buy a vehicle that's pre-owned that still has some kind of coverage by the manufacturer. So if you lose an AC compressor, if it fails, or if an engine fails or a transmission fails, you have coverage and they'll pay for it for you. Certified pre-owned, though, comes with something else just the same. The dealers can ask for more money. And in this case, it's even more important for you to have a PPI performed by a certified, trained Porsche technician that knows the vehicle. I have seen plenty of vehicles that have been inspected by non-Porsche certified technicians and they missed some things. So it's really important to make sure, and if you don't, let's say you're looking at a car and it's in New York, call the president of the local Porsche club region in New York. Ask him who is the top shop in your area. He will direct you accordingly, and you will find that individual that will be able to inspect your vehicle properly.
So if you're watching this right now and you're thinking to yourself, well, I thought I was always in good shape or buying pre-owned cars that are certified by the dealer, maybe not so fast. It's our position that you should get an inspection of the car, regardless of the fact that it's certified pre-owned. Bobby, thank you so much for being here. To our audience, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye.